You can look up at me if you want.
Okay.
So we got my new camera, and me and Rick are planning on showing some shenanigans. We got this random motor from the trash we're gonna plug in, and let's see if we blow the lights out. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go look at it. Oh shit, it's doing nothing. Oh no.
No.
I hate this. Fuck. I hate this. Oh my god. No. Okay. That's terrible. Ow.
Do you want me to keep filming?
I guess you can turn it off. You can film for a long time if you want. I can always edit it down later. Okay.
I'm filming now.
Hey,
Here we go.
ready for the second jump?
Yeah.
Oh!
It's caught. Is it
It
going?
works. Yeah, it works.
Look at that.
And power off. Oh,
Well done.
that is a nice motor. And now we start our adventures. I was going to go to the park today, still will, but then I met Rick, and he had a motor for me. And the motor is heavy, so let's drop it off at the Makerspace and then go to the park and test out this camera. Gosh, this motor's heavy. Oh, damn. The workshop area is taking shape. But gosh, this motor is heavy. So it's a Packard. Ooh, 1.6 horsepower. So if this motor proves to not be very strong, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up, and I want to make a display where this motor is an exploded view and slowly turning, and then somehow show the magnetic fields. And that'll be in the front display of the Makerspace. But I'll always allow it to be put back together and actually used, because this would probably make a very nice motor for a like a sash sawmill or something that I plan to make. So this is nice, really nice. I love how wide this view is. Well, let's get my regular phone out, my well-worn one, and set this one down. So this is the iPhone 12 mini, and that's in place of my new camera. I think it's gonna be a pretty good one. I'm gonna see about 3D printing a new case for it and also allow it to be mounted. Pretty cool. So some fun news. I met the person that lives at the end of that road, so made friends with them and talked with them about what they would like to see with the park. And I've picked this park to be, oh by the way, my favorite walking stick. I've picked this park to be, or more like it's picked me, to be my favorite go-to spot because it's hidden. It's in the middle of, like, well, what I would call the city, but it's not. It feels like it's really well isolated. So, I was wondering why the Makerspace door was locked. You know, I'd filmed that video and dropped off the motor, and then when I'm going out, coming to the park, I run into Evan, the manager of the Makerspace. He has a whole gaggle of people from, I think, Penn State University or whatever, that he's showing, that he was leading to the building. It's like, oh wow, there's a lot of fun going on. So I stayed for that a little bit. Didn't want to intrude on their meeting though, because I'm not very knowledgeable on university and school stuff. So I want to learn how to best integrate with, like, the educational system, since I'm helping at the Makerspace. But since I never went to high school or even university, I don't really have a good grasp of what's what and how things work. So I'm just going to kind of observe, and maybe there'd be an opportunity for me to help out, just like I'm getting a little bit of money here and there for helping out at the Makerspace. Oh, look at this camera. It's great. So then another thing, I was walking over to here and I realized I was keeping pace with this gentleman, very good looking, dapper gentleman, very well dressed in a suit. And so I just made a comment about how it's funny that you walk faster than the cars around here, but people don't walk it. They don't take it as a sign to walk sometimes because the traffic's so backed up, but people are still so embedded in using cars. And so we started talking a little bit, and then a block later we really talked, and we were talking about the area and whatnot. And by the time we got to the train station where he had to go, I was like, you know what? I have a question for you. What would you like to see most improved about Lansdowne? And he said he'd think on it a little bit, but at the first sign, his first thought is, let's go this way. His first thought is he's been noticing a few more bums in the area. And it's like, yeah, I can see that. Since I haven't been here more than a year, I can't really tell how that's changed, but I can imagine it's probably gotten worse over time. And then we talked about stuff, and apparently he's an artist, and that's just cool to meet people. Just really, really cool. Wow, look at that. It goes up to behind these people's house. Well, I won't go up too high. Looks like there's a path that goes that way, but it's kind of built up. Well, I don't remember this path being here. This place has really grown up a lot. So this camera being wider, it helps a lot with making the image look more stable. I want to come through here and I want to start cleaning up this forest a little bit, because in springtime it's all flat and absolutely gorgeous, but it would be nice to have a few areas where I kind of clean it up a little bit. Of course, leave the trees and stuff, but like these paths, just kind of trim the stuff, because it's not fun to walk in a path and have the nature tickling your arms. And then most of all, I'm going to come through and see about removing some poison ivy. I think this camera is going to work out pretty well. I wonder if it's going to have the same issues that my other camera has of, well, the video and the audio get disconnected and slowly gets, it's like it shoots at 59.5 frames per second, but it records at 60 FPS. It's hard to say. Well, actually, I record 50 FPS, but you know what I mean. Oh, wow. So this is the spot where, let me hold my camera differently. This is the spot where the path went before. Okay. And I don't see any poison ivy. But gosh, this has grown up a lot. I almost need like a hedge trimmer to come back here. But these little plants in spring, these are everywhere. And as you can see over here, there's still a thick blanket. And as you can see over here, there's still a thick blanket of them way back in there. And I kind of want to reinforce that. I can come through and I can snip any of the plants that grow in, like whatever these are. The lady that lives down the road said that this is actually an invasive species, so I should kill it anyway. So I was like, okay, well, okay then, okay. I don't want to come in and just kind of start messing with something that someone else might like, applying my view of how I would like to see nature. So I was just asking a few people in the area that live near here what they would think, and they've all said, oh, well, you definitely have a good idea of what you want, a good vision of it, so go ahead. You can't offend any of us. So I was like, okay. So yeah, I'm going to come through, and I think it would be nice to just trim some of this brush. God damn, these mosquitoes. That's the other thing. I'm gonna find where are these mosquitoes coming from, because you know there's probably just one bucket of water or something. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn off the slow-mo feature for this because I just recorded that at 240 frames per second. Wow. Okay, that's a bit excessive. I can't remember what I was gonna say because I just realized I was recording the wrong settings, but I can fix it in post. This area definitely, you know, I can definitely see it. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's beautiful down there. I can definitely see the appeal of having this somewhat like a portal. So keep some of these little saplings, but get rid of the brush, like these things. Yeah, I think this camera will do. Ooh, what do we have here? We have a little bit of a 2x4. Oh, wow. The rains have really fattened this up. This is like a good extra foot of stuff here. This has really been churned up. Now that can be useful. I love how wide this camera view is. It's great. It's exactly what I needed. Exactly what I needed. You really need a walking stick, especially if you don't want your shoes to get wet. Have I shown you guys my walking stick? I love this thing. A beaver made it for me, and he didn't even know. I haven't had to do anything to this. Not really, anyway. I just kind of got rid of some of the sharpness on the top, but I should do more. So they do say that the iPhone 12 is waterproof. Yeah, let's test it. Just a little bit. Oh, interesting. A lot of stuff has been churned up. Tile. Interesting audio effect going on with this. So I guess that's how it sounds whenever you have a little bit of water in your phone. I've been thinking about ideas for ways to reuse glass and products to make from that. And I thought it'd be interesting to put some buckets out here, reinforced so the flood doesn't take them away on a higher elevation. But have some buckets out here that people can put glass in, because I know people would gladly, if they visit, a lot of people visit here, they would gladly put a handful of glass in there from the sand. And then I can take that glass and melt it down and make something out of it. It's an idea. Oh gosh, look at that. The rains they carved all that out and cleaned out because there was a bunch of sand there before. And this will probably fall in again, but that looks pretty deep, maybe 3 or 4 feet deep. I mean, deep, but still fairly deep. And that got all cleaned up. That's where I crossed a week ago, and looks like it's a little bit deeper now. So really made quite a difference. Oh, it's all, you can tell it's like, it was really thin and it's mostly held together by rust. So it's not something I can weld to. That's unfortunate. S&F Company. S&F Brickworks. This is definitely a place to do brickyology series. It's a piece of copper. Is it a copper shower curtain ring? Might be. This might be steel. Hard to say. I'm going to keep it though. It's interesting. Oh, we have part of a glass insulator. A lot of good glass, as a matter of fact. Yeah, it's part of an insulator. And then we have a clamp from a bicycle. That's aluminium. I can use that. I don't want to start collecting this glass just yet. I need to find a use for the glass, and then I can collect it. You know, I just realized there's quite a few of these. Boy, they've been here a long time though. Is that? And that. To keep those for something. I don't quite know what yet though, so I won't take them home, but these are fascinating. You know what first comes to mind? Is using them as air vents on a pizza oven. What if we were to make our own pizza oven out of junk out here and make our own pizza? Nice. Those didn't give much of a fuss at all. Now, if I could find 4 of those, I can make one heck of an oven. A big pizza oven. Oh, wow, look at that. We now have a railroad tie, or railroad sleeper, in our inventory. Looks like it was used for landscaping because it has a piece of rebar through it. Part of a grill. It didn't churn this up nearly as much. That's to be expected though, because this is all a bit more laid down, or however you should say it. It's larger rocks that are packed tighter, not so much sand. Oh, this is a really nice view. I was just taken aback by it. This is great. I can definitely tell that these stones have been picked up though. The flood water has done its darndest to make it move. Some big piece of plastic in there. Interesting. Oh, interesting. Well, we found the mosquito nest. Yep, tons of larvae in there. I don't even feel like getting close. That's gonna be a problem someday. And that's the end of the walkable path for now. Next time I'll bring my boots, or I'll just go barefoot. I see this area is staying quite clean. Oh, and that tree branch, that tree trunk hasn't fallen down yet. Ugh. Look at this. Now, isn't this lovely? It's a little bit dead. Perhaps they did a burn, but I think most likely what happened was the floods flooded this. Yeah, it doesn't look burned. It just looks like it's been swamped a little bit. I'm getting around that tree, whose trunk is about to fall. They've really been doing a good job of collecting bricks. Very nice. Yeah, I don't want to risk being underneath that. That's for sure. That's walnut. Is that walnut? I think that is walnut. It's rotten, but it's walnut. That's kind of cool. Or at least it's akin to walnut. The creek used to run through here, and they dammed it up or added a weir or something. And then over time, nature decided, nuh-uh, I'm going to go around, as nature is wont to do. But what I like most is there's not much poison ivy. But then again, Pennsylvania doesn't necessarily have as much poison ivy as a place like Illinois does. Part of a record or something. There's a lot more other things than just poison ivy. I put the wood up there because there's no sense in me lugging it all the way back home whenever it can dry out here. And then later, I can bring it back on my e-bike whenever I get that. You know, I never really realized how that's a pipe there. I bet we're going to see some mushrooms in the middle there pretty soon. You can see the mycelium growing. And from that calmness, I head back into noisy civilization. Yuck. With their automobiles and their whatsits and their ATM machines. I get home and the electric bike that I ordered is here. I'm not gonna make a video about it just yet, but plenty of fun stuff to do. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and thank you very much for watching. See ya.